So this video is about Arch Linux. Basically, I have made a video about what is Linux, what are the types of Linux. Basically, there are two types of Linux, Debian and RPM based. So the Arch Linux is not of Debian and RPM based. Basically, Arch Linux is a distribution for computers based on x86-64 architectures. Arch Linux is composed of free, open source and non-free software and supports community involvement. Actually, it is a free open source software obviously, and it supports community involvement. It is something different from Ubuntu and Ubuntu in Debian based like Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint, etc. And it is something different from RPM also like Red Hat, Fedora, etc., CentOS, etc. So it is a distribution update very first. Basically, Arch Linux is a rolling release and you will get the update very first. If something new update is released in the Arch Linux, you will get the update very first from the Arch Linux repository. Basically, in Arch Linux, a package manager written specifically for Arch Linux known as the pacman is used to install, remove, and update software packages. Just like in Ubuntu, there is the package manager is apt known as application package tool, or in RPM based like Fedora or Red Hat, there is a package manager known as yum. In Arch Linux, there is a package manager known as pacman. So basically, if you configure pacman, so it is useful. So it is used to install, remove, and update software packages in Arch Linux. So if you say Linux is good for beginners, I will say if you want to know the operating system more specifically, go for Linux. But Arch Linux, I will say it isn't good for beginners, but I will not recommend that. But if you want to use Arch Linux first, you have to know the Linux very nicely, because Arch Linux is some Linux that you have to configure it in yourself after installing it. In Ubuntu, if you install Ubuntu Mate or Kali Linux out of RPM based like Fedora, the thing which you will require is just you have to install it on your hard disk and just run it after installing it. Now, there are many software previously configured and no need of configuration. You just click on the software or write the name of the software from the search option and you can use it. But in Arch Linux, it is something a bit different. In Arch Linux, you have to configure each and everything to make it useful. So if you want to use Arch Linux, that means you should have a good knowledge about Linux. Otherwise, you can't use Arch Linux. But it's quite good to start and learn. If you believe in do it yourself, you can do better with Arch. Just like this, if you want to learn the Linux yourself, yeah, you can do that. Other distribution like Ubuntu, yeah, I have told other distribution like Ubuntu are more easier and comes with a lot of things pre-configured like this. So Arch Linux is something a bit different than the other distribution. And obviously Arch Linux is a lightweight and flexible Linux distribution that tries to keep it simple. It is very lightweight, and currently it have the official packages written very optimized for the x86-64 architecture. So what can you do with the Arch Linux? Basically you can do a lot of things with Arch Linux. So as the thing which you can do with the Linux, you can do with the Arch Linux also. And there are some other features like you can update your system, installing X server, desktop environment, and desktop manager, installing an LTS terminal, installing EOArt. EOArt is a software which is very much useful in Arch Linux. Installing GUI package manager, installing codecs and plugins. You can install different types of plugins in Arch Linux which are very much useful. If you do any kind of programming or if you do any kind of web development, these plugins are very much useful. You don't need to install it on your Chrome browser, or if you do programming on your website, means on the software, there are different types of plugins which are available. And you can install many productive software in Arch Linux. Basically, Arch Linux support many types of productive softwares which are very much useful in software programming, or if you do any kind of programming. So that's why Arch Linux is very useful. Just like any other distribution, Arch Linux is also free and is an open source, so you can download it without any cost. This is the official website of the Arch Linux, archlinux.org. You can visit this website Arch Linux, and you will get many information about the Arch Linux over here. Yeah, you can basically download the Arch Linux from here, or you can get Arch Arch Linux download and go to download Arch Linux, and you can see the size of the Arch Linux is 622 MB only, and there is a magnet link for if you want to download it from torrent, or there is a direct torrent link. This is a bit they are recommend to use a BitTorrent version to download it, and there is a docker there is you can run a docker image also. And if you want a manual of how can you use it, there are some forums, blogs, etc. You can visit this website. So what are the things needed to install, what are the things needed after installing the Arch Linux, what can you do with the Arch Linux. And this is the software known as Pacman. So Pacman is like repository of application package tool, just like Debian. So it is used to installing software, configure software, etc. like that. So basically this is Arch Linux, and as it is a cybersecurity video, so what is the case of Arch Linux? You can use Arch Linux for your cybersecurity purpose also. Basically if you want to use this, it requires a lot of knowledge about Linux. So in this case I will tell you about, you can use another distribution known as Black Arch. Black Arch is a Black Arch is like just like Arch Linux. It is same like Arch Linux, but it is something bit different. Black Arch Linux is a penetration testing distribution. It is just like Kali Linux. Based on Black Arch Linux is an Arch Linux based penetration testing distribution for penetration testers and security researchers. It is a penetration testing distribution just like Kali Linux, but it is not based on Debian. It is based on Arch. So one thing you can see, if you go to the download section, Black Arch Linux has over 2,300 tools installed in it. It has previously installed. So and if you want to download Black Arch Linux, so the Black Arch Linux size is 12 GB. See, this is very much big. So Black Arch Linux has plain numerous tools installed in it, which can be officially used as a penetration testing distribution. And if you want to Black Arch and if you want to use Black Arch Linux, it is not quite simple as Kali Linux, because again after all it is not a Debian based, it is based on the Arch Linux, and you require a good amount of knowledge of Linux to to use the Arch Linux. And basically Black Arch is similar of Arch type, but Black Arch is a penetration testing distribution just like Kali Linux. So Black Arch Linux, you can download it from here. It is of 12 GB size, and of course it is free. You don't have to pay anything for that. And you can also do, and there is an OVA image also. If you want to install it in a VMware or VirtualBox, there is a OVA image which is 30 GB. So you can either download 12 GB and install it in a VMware, or you can download the 30 GB version. And after installing and what you can do, that if you have installed Arch Linux previously on your computer, so what you can do, you can install the Black Arch Linux on top of it. Means there's no need of downloading Black Arch Linux separately for installing separately. So if you have Arch Linux installed in your computer, so you can do one thing, you can install Black Arch on top of Arch Linux. This is the command, this is the type of things you have to do. There is a whole procedure written in the Black Arch download blocks, and you can download all types of uh, tools and Black Arch distribution from the Pacman. With the help of Pacman, it is a repository command. And if you visit this website blackarch.org.downloads.html, and if you scroll down, you will get the information how can you install Black Arch on top of Arch Linux. Basically these are the things which are needed in a penetration testing distribution. So what's the difference between Kali and Arch or Black Arch? So Kali is of Debian based. It is quite simple and easy, and Black Arch is not of any Debian or RPM based. It is independent rolling distribution. It is of Arch based. So to use Arch Linux or Black Arch Linux, you have to have no, you should have a good knowledge of Linux. Otherwise you may find some difficulties. And you can give a try of what is Arch Linux. You can install it on your VMware or VirtualBox, but don't install in your main machine or do a dual boot with that, because it may hamper your damage your main system, or you may lose your files. So I will prefer to use it in the VMware or VirtualBox. And our Black Arch Linux is same of Arch, but it is a penetration testing distribution just like Arch Linux. So here you can download it from there. And there is some other option also, like ARM based Linux of Black Arch is present, Mirrors is present, etc. So I hope you will like this video. So thank you for watching the video.